Ekosiisen, 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 Asempa FM, Ekosiisen, 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 Asempa FM. Obi nebado, biba, obibo, obiba, obiba, ode desemparabo. Obi nebado, biba, obibo, obiba, obi nebado, ode desemparabo. Obi nie, Ekosiisen nie. Bonswa wo minisempa debrane mamba obi som
Masomo Asempa 94.7 FM Ekosiisen dwumedi no asogoso a utie no ma ye namu nyina ase na yensan mama kwaba emfa momra Asempa FM so enche yebe hyase edi enkomo ye ne the ranking member on the health committee in Ghana's parliament ebekasa ene omoye press conference our parliament on the course where some youth who claim to be members of the NDC lock up the NHIS office. It sounds, that story sounds like a broken record because I mean party for I lock up officers. It's been going on for some time now, you know. By Sebia Yehusa Niomano emu. And this time, almost after a year of government assuming the reign of power, and still as Haniomano Ekosii inti yebeshene ye too many won edi ho enkomo and what they are calling for as the minority. Yene MP for the area and so ebedi ho enkomo na yahwe how we are affected the constituent. And the area chairman Freddie Blay Nensen Samuel Kopiemu or court and Namsoma and a Ekropon circuit court remanding into police custody to reappear before court sometime in April. You know, into total number of days, now about 21 days and over remand. What's the later? The lawyers and a moment no to Eddie Afasa and Semnina. And round so Mobekaya Yeshase Edi and Komo Efa appointees ni be any in fear Omedia Omodaso Ewo office based on statement Omanpenyi Asriye Ankasa Edibabe Tuja sometime last year. In Tosha statement now. It was signed by Dr. Callistus Mahama, Secretary to the President, and statement is dated 2nd April 2025. Suspension of the grant of contract appointment. The grant of post-retirement contract appointment to retired public service staff has been suspended with immediate effect. Consequently, all requests for such appointment will no longer be considered. Inti, what the request say, oh, ebia, me CEO ha, me this 60 years, dieba, omanpenyi shena mame post-retirement contract. Let away kase enyadi omanpenyi, chese unconsider kwenyadi obeshempu inti, men how home fast our request number. But I say all requests for such appointment will no longer be considered. Kindly take note of this directive and ensure strict compliance. In the ideally, our office one who say where the 60 years I want to say okay in train from will be emeka encho. But Emra through production team, any research team, Juma Umudi, and who said apparently a lot of the appointees, no time as on in those were Mr. Bennett Akantua, only a deputy CEO. Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. The Enra Mabel na way can weigh update about into Mr. Bennett Akantua. Were the 66 years. 20 akakakrakwa were the 70. 66 years. Deputy CEO Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund gave. Engineer Julius Kwame Pepena, yes, Enrami Bonidin, on your MD, ewo ECG, 62 years. 62 years. The autosomy inside Dr. Tony Obin, CEO Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, on also 64 years. I just say, Wapahuanesa. Dr. Francis Ban, on a deputy CEO, Ghana Cocoa Board. Ghana Cocoa Board, on also 65 years. Sisi Kwenu, on a gaming commission boss, 63 years. Vincent Kwagbenu, community water and sanitation, on also 62 years. Hey, Vincent Kwagbenu, wow, former national service. Sylvester Mensah, Ghana Exim Bank, on also 62 years. And Yenya update, and James Aveji, on our Securities and Exchange Commission, on also 62 years. Into a more mandatory retirement age of 60, no, dorso. Our mothers will hold on to their positions. I'll come back to this particular story. But Mamini, the Honorable Dominic Nitiwul in Inkomo, or a MP for Bimbilla, former Defense Minister of the Republic. Honorable Akwabe Ekosii saying Suni.
So Namicha, Nimamo, happy New Year. Let me say 2026.
Yeah, Nkasa.
Mamima Otefojina, happy New Year. Yeah. So that by 31st of December 2026.
Amen.
Ghana, yeah, the say the Ahuncha Abanona Yina or Yamedico. Ahuncha and Casa Papa.
Yeah, but
whether a cocoa farmer, whether you are a young farmer, we a maize farmer, cashew farmer, you are tree and Casa. But
okay, which seminar, one thing about up strongly, youth unemployment, and based on which a be a quinsa man for apply for employment into the various security agencies, no, yenya record applications. Initially, a buyer na dream say over 4 years, no, or befa nipa 20,000 into the various security agencies. But after a very important meeting, ENRA, that has been changed into almost 20,000 now to 40,000 over 4 years. That should be good news for especially more Amaya Juma in the security space, no? Meboa.
Good news, sir. It's a bibanya Juma especially if you are a Ghanaian. For me, a good news. They are about or Mampeni about why are there when consider by the record. Okay, the last recruitment, just interior alone, there were over 10,000. Police alone, police and the others who come one, there were over 10,000. Just one recruitment. And then the question said, this is the first time. 10,000 at the Ministry of Interior.
The record I said no was in respect of NIPA. I apply. We are told close to 500,000.
And application no. To have a record number of 500,000 as our application. I've not heard it before.
Yes.
We won't be that as Minister for Defense for 8 years. And you have over 500,000 young people. Only at the Ministry of Interior, the 4 agencies. Now, signals are saying, I always say, youth unemployment is the biggest security threat for Ghana going forward. Over the next 10 years, the biggest single most important security threat for Ghana. The friend of youth unemployment. We call nurses out of training now. 2021, 2022, 2023, now only 2 cohorts. 2024, and they say the 2025, women in attitude. What teaching field that? We see from 2021 to 2025, women in attitude, that been forward.
Yes.
Women in attitude. Then Oko teaching field that 2023, 24, 25, they are not getting any employment. Now, Oko universities are, and then what we call tertiary institutions, almost every year we are churning out over 200,000 young people into the market. As you know, the economy is not expanding enough for the private sector to absorb them. Because of the employment, we have millions, not thousands, so I said millions of young people are right? They cannot get any employment. It's turned out to be something that your friend knows, big security risk. And it's another 5,000 this year to add to the original 5,000 now. We can only say thank God. But for me, enough. Enough say it means that at the beginning of the recruitment and for 10,000. At then China only 5,000.
5,000.
What was the meaning of that? Someone himself, you can pick 10,000. Why do you start with 5,000?
Yes, maybe
is it wickedness? What is it? What do you want to punish the young people? You want them to make noise. And they embar. And they led by the minority. And yes, sir. And
yeah, but
you should remember. So when you now majority are just SS graduates. I have not talked about universities. Yes. I want people to understand the gravity of the situation. Maybe well, majority are SS graduates. University for they are every year we churn out over 200,000 to 300,000 young people in the university. Where SS for any university and after SS you always churn out over 500,000 every year. We are sitting yet a time bomb. English, English for you see time bomb, yet time bomb. And I pray, say, we should find a solution to it immediately. And it is very sad, say, we would allow farming to be unattractive. In those days, 70% of our people, now we are into farming, yes, sir.
Yes.
And that's a farming-related activity. But now we'll sit down and allow rice to be imported in huge numbers. So farming is becoming unattractive because if you go and farm here, me was 2,000 bags of paddy rice. A warehouse. Nobody is interested because you've gone to Thailand to bring rice. You've gone to Brazil to bring sugar. You go to Argentina and Cote d'Ivoire to bring maize. So yes, sir. Who's going to farm maize? And so almost all the young people who can also decide, say, oh, you're caught into farming. They're all now sitting and looking for white-collar jobs because the farming is no more attractive.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure you are. I'm not sure, sir. Who blame me a buy we inquire for that outcome?
Well, I'm not saying, sir, I'm blaming all but the majority of the blame is this government. So you say our research period. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what's the research? The research is to bring more rice. What him say? I could for time no. A bag of maize now and by this time it was 10,000 Ghana cedi. A bag of 100 kg maize. This is 300. A bag of rice, paddy rice. Now 1,000, between 1,000 and then 1,200. And then 150, 200 maximum. 150 to either 150 or 200 maximum. From 1,000, either 1,000 cities or 1,002 around March, April. Now either 1,000 or 1,002. I hope for the time. And then 200 cities, paddy rice. So yeah, I hope for the time now. By this time now, a bag of soya was around 2,000, and then 800 cities. Now it's cocoa. So all the major agriculture indicators, the prices have slashed to about 30%. And who's going to enter into farming? Okay, that's the problem that we are facing. So I would say, blame me at Ben we are. I would say majority of the blame will go to this government. Because if we could maintain what was happening under the Akufo-Addo government to halt the importation of all these basic materials that you're producing, I don't think we'll have the problem that we're having. But they are just opening the floodgates and they're importing all these things because they feel the dollar is down and so it's cheaper to import. When I say because the benefit for the dollar is down, import, I cheap And so they're just importing maize, soya, meat, way. So farming has become non-attractive. If you go, you will lose. The youth, all the youth are saying, well, cocoa farming, it's not attractive. Cashew farming, maize farming, yam farming, guinea corn farming, cassava farming, and attractive. Then what will be the use? Even with the low prices, people are not buying. Obi, means I swear if you low prices, even the low prices, you go to the market, and I say emunu, and I say maize, and I say concotino. So farming has become very non-attractive. I wonder what will happen this year. And so the youth, when they complete school, they see their parents suffering because concotino egufie, maize no bebre egufie, rice no egufie. Why should that young man enter farming? So the only avenue is government job. Some private jobs, and they are non-existent. They are all in the house,
and that's why interest about security services application way musan. I mean, said the to 500,000 plus record numbers, but penyin so any team because I'm told sir at that meeting, not chief of staff for secretary to the president, senior presidential advisor on governmental affairs, national security coordinator, Inspector General of Police, Director of Prisons, Director of Fire Service, Comptroller General, and Director General Narcotics Control Commission. Now, omunyina ewo meeting we mubi, and the main resolution is this year instead of 5,000, for 10,000. It will be 10,000 every year for the next 4 years. Now acquire 40,000. Penyika said. The message to, and as a directive to heads of the security agencies, is to ensure transparency and fairness in the recruitment process. Minority, makasa wo homo say, mo problem pa with way den me pacho.
Me see on the surface of it, minority, your position is on the surface of good. Every increase is good. There is a increase, and
yes.
Until over the 5,000 on the surface of it for us, it's okay, it's good. But you see, not enough. Because so we share the yearly retirement of the security services, especially within the security services, yearly retirement plus the vacancies that have been created for the potential to this government could have employed 15,000 and yet 10,000.
Yes.
Every year. Right? I just want you to have that at the back of your mind. So we say, one, on the surface of it, we don't have a problem with it. I think it's good. And I think that once the president has decided to listen to there's some sense in it. I will increase it by 5,000. For us, on the surface, good. But we are saying, on making sure, the Ministry of Interior to ensure that the recruitment is successful. And yet, Obaba, you just come and talk. So my 10,000, and at the end, 10,000 will not be taken because there's no budget for it. For uniform and accommodation and boots and I say the mobile training and because talking is different from implementing it. So one, the president should make sure he backs with resources. So the Minister for Finance must make sure on backing that directive for resources because one, he gave them clearance for 10,000 into a Troy and budgeted for 10,000. 5,000. And they say they almost see 10,000. So we need that documentary evidence to say they are backing money. That's one. Two, we say the president should at least make sure that the medical fee, we charge you 1,600, they should break it to 500. Because your time, the medical, it was 500, 600. Especially Minister of Defense. It was 500, 600. So they can do medicals for less than 500. They should make it 500, not more than that.
Yeah, but I don't know how would government control that? I mean, say facilities need being so private facilities.
The government can control. So, come Ministry of Defense, you go to 37 to be sure, say, a genuine, and you 50, a genuine. Into we now about 37. The doctors are 37 to do it. Now for police, almost police hospital. For the other agencies, you can either go to 37 or police. So we know, say, there's nothing. It's genuine government hospital. Another book, they can do that, and government should take part of the bill. That's the second thing we are saying to the youth, because 104,000 people are people who are going to do medicals. 100,000 multiplied by 1,600.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
It's running to billions. So I said it's running to millions. That's the problem that we have. And say you are picking 10,000. Say first it was 5,000. You say 10,000. So you are not picking 94,000 of them. Meanwhile, you are asking them to pay 1,600. When they say 94,000 of these young people who are going to pay
for the medicals will not be
taken. So why are you asking them to go and pay?
Because we are 1,600 by 104,000 now. That's 166,400,000.
Good. Meanwhile, your space that's what I said million. Your space that you have, only 10,000. First, it was 5,000. They say you see 10,000,
sure.
Which for us is okay. It's good, but it's not enough. But what can we do? Half a loaf is better than none. Into your about move. We have said thank you halfway, even though we can increase it. But why are you going to charge 94,000 young people 1,600 when you only say people say want to mean for you are picking just a fraction. You are picking less. You are picking about 10% of them, but you are taking them to the medicals.
Asempa FM.
Yeah, but the point is, if you don't do the medicals, how do we know Bia or qualify to enter or not? Acquire prerequisite.
Maybe that is what created. That's the problem they created. First, the maximum age is 26. Who try 26 now? Want to make up, so that they are young, they are fresh. Which may you check at least 30 years. If you are 26 and you do 30 years, by 56 you can retire. So police the maximum they were taking was 27. And then you do 20 years, you do 25 maximum. Now why you are some old man, then you go home. And then you are extending it to 35 years because of political expediency. NDC for now, putting pressure on the minister. Extend it to 35. By the time the person is almost 40 years.
Asempa FM.
So they have created this problem. So 100 and something, created our problem. Who want them to extend it to 35 years? Are they? A 35-year-old person, or to go and do real security work, not the selected. So armed forces are. You will be now only 32 years maximum. At 32 years. But you find a short service. If you are a lawyer,
yes,
you are architect, you are a pharmacist, you are a medical doctor. So you are going to do a specific work for 15 years. In Tisana, if you are 32 and you do 15 years, 47, you retire. In the area, specific professionals now armed forces here, then they are looking for such people. Why are you looking for a general recruit at 35 years? HSI. Because of party loyalty. So some big numbers, every the age increase of the 10 years are only count.
And the man nipa bebree apply, Exactly. Numbers,
Exactly. That is what caused the problem. 2, the dispense of the time tested pass in English and maths. The defense of that particular thing say, oh, who pass? Whether you pass English or math, who pass? Won't me pass? Oh, brah. Because this is politics that we're doing. It is that politics that is hunting them now. And can you yes our numbers? Because in those days, you want to enter a soldier, you see math and English. The child will go and learn and pass it and come.
Yes.
I've seen people do that. They come to me and I say, oh, you want me to go? Because it's math and English. The next time the child comes, but the child has learned and passed the math and English. And then they go through the process. Sometimes they are true, sometimes they are not true. Because now in
Asempa
so
FM.
they go through and then they are okay. And then if they are lucky, they pick them. But and then you dispense of math and English. You increase the age to 35. What were you expecting? You were expecting 500,000. That's what happened. Remember, say, already 400,000 people, they've disappointed them all.
Yes, so I'm on 100,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now, almost the minister told us is 506,000. So 406,000 people. And you're 2, and you're 10, and you're 100, and you're 1,000. 406,000 people are already disappointed. And then you are going to disappoint another 94,000 just because of 10,000 slots.
Yes.
But so you don't expect us to praise you.
Very well. Into the other question is because I bind it in the budget about the 2 dada. And in saying the budget allocation for the 2 ministries, i.e. defense and interior, around by 24 billion Ghana cedis. I don't know if that will be enough to take care of.
No, they don't have the budget. Currently, there's no yet a budget for the extra 5,000.
For the extra 5,000. No?
It's not part of it.
And on
the current budget, the current budget they have is not part of what they have.
Extra 5,000 in Kaho. Okay, but
so that's why I said the Minister for Finance needs to do what we call clearance. He needs to give them clearance letter. That will force him to give them a budget.
Okay.
To allocate a budget for them. And yes, they do have problems.
Eddie, I don't know how much are we looking at from your experience in the in interior and defense, from what you know, how much are we looking at? I was more additional budgetary allocation.
For interior, Ankasano is a bit lower. If it were defense, it would have been higher.
Okay.
It would have been higher because I saw your phone. 99% you want to keep them in the barracks.
In the barracks, yes.
Accommodation alone can take almost $1 billion of trying to sort out all these people. Remember, if you are going to pick 10,000 soldiers, you're going to put accommodation close to that number. And then you are going to also make sure, say, you can go and do training, the booth. That it's not something you cannot just go to the market and go and buy boots for soldiers and then say, khaki for soldiers. For the others, sometimes we try to allow them to rent houses outside. So it's a bit cheaper. Even though government will pay 20% in lieu of the accommodation for them, it's a bit cheaper. So the cost will come down a bit. But when it comes to just salary and training and allowances and the general upkeep, you are talking of close to 2 billion cedis that they need to look at. But if you add defense,
for the additional 5,000.
Yes. If you add defense, it will shoot up to close to 3 billion. If you were to add, not because of the associated cost, not the. If it's just the normal recruitment, maybe 100 to 200 million would have been okay. But otherwise, the additional costs associated with it, especially because of accommodation and weapons and other recruitment, it will shoot it up.
Wow.
Especially accommodation. Yeah, especially accommodation. Because, as I said, if you are going to recruit 5,000 soldiers, especially young soldiers, and you can't put them together for training and stay together in the barracks, you better not recruit them. Because they will not be soldiers. They will be civilians in uniform claiming they are soldiers. They will not be soldiers.
Yeah.
You need to put them in the barracks so that the training, they get to know each other. Because they're a fighting force. Remember, soldier force, they're only a fighting force. So one has to be friends with the other to be able to die for him. If I don't know you anywhere, why would I want to die for you? But if I've been with you and we've trained together and we are moving together as one, when we are lying down, we are shooting and we are fighting, I can die for you. So you are for. So if they see say you are wounded, I'll carry you on my shoulder and move you away and kill anybody on the way to be able to move you to safety so that you can get treatment. So if I don't know you anywhere, it's like media
Yeah.
So for a soldier for you need to keep them together. That's why it will go up. Because you need accommodation. But just idea, if it's just the normal recruitment without any other thing, just salary and uniform alone, it will not be too much. It will be a little much lower. But if you want to add Ministry of Defense and you want to add everything, you are putting another 10,000 together, and Ministry of Defense is that it will shoot it up close to about 3 billion.
Very well. I mean, sitting through cabinet near the briefings, and over the past 8 years, social agencies under Interior Ministry now recruitment amoye cumulatively na nipa be saying.
In the first place, there's no way under Akufo-Addo what happened will have happened. No. And it won't happen. If we are recruiting 10,000, we start with 10,000. We are not going to recruit 5,000 and later on be panicking and add. No, because you plan everything. You plan everything and plan it well. And start planning that we know, say, you better recruit 10,000. They will come and do 5,000 and the youth will force us. Opposition will force us and they will come and add another 5,000 and that. So that's one I want to say. Secondly, if you look at the Ministry of Defense, for example, we move our figures, we move the armed forces over a period of 4 years to over 10,000. Over 10,000. So the 12,000 they are talking about is very similar to what we did.
10,000 additional.
I have not mentioned the actual figure, but I'm just saying offline I can mention the exact figures to you, what we came to meet and what we left. But I'm saying it was more than 10,000 overall.
That's new soldiers, Amodebe County, and more than 10,000.
Yes, over that. So if they are talking about 12,000, it's in line with what we did. It's very similar to what we did over our 8 years in office. But not 4 years old.
Okay.
Because I told you if you start pushing them in there, you don't do accommodation, you are just causing discontent within the barracks.
Sure.
Because if Kwabema come in, we still have not given appropriate accommodation to soldiers. You're free appropriate accommodation.
Yes.
Let me give you an example. The late Major Mahama, your call the residence to greet the wife. He was living in a single bedroom as a captain at that time. When at least the minimum should have been 2-bedroom house for him or apartment for him. Yeah. That's why I say you cause discontent if you just push a soldier forward that commensurate accommodation for them. But the police, is good to have a barracks for them. But you can also give them chance to stay within the community if you plan it well. So once me and year, then you can have problems. Because you don't also want them to also live and pick the bad habits of the community. You want them to police the community well. It depends on the planning. So planning here, you get it right. So once me and planning year, you have serious problems.
Okay.
You can have people who will pick up the bad traits of the community, which will affect the service and with the impact. So when it comes to the Ministry of Interior, their recruitment over 8 years was way above double what I'm talking about.
Okay.
For the defense.
Okay.
It was more than double what the figures I mentioned for defense. But we're very cautious because we did all the planning. Information bit. We knew, for the Ghana Armed Forces, over the next 10 years, you're planning. Over the next 10 years, we should move the armed forces to 50,000. And you cannot just move the armed forces to 50,000 with the current units that we have. Until you create new units all across the country. We create new units with the armed forces all across the country. In Tisoko come and they can tell you that there will be a barracks in Kintampo, there will be a barracks here, Yendi, Saboba here, there will be barracks here, because we created new units and the army and the air force and the navy. Because it was necessary to absorb these 50,000. You wanted to make Ghana the only thing moving for us, and they say, we are a safe country. So our aim is to make sure over the next 10 years we stabilize Ghana as the most safe country, as the Dubai of until recently the Dubai of Africa, or another West Africa. We are very safe. So over Ghana, whether for holiday, whether you are tourist or not, when you can walk on the street, we are very, very safe. Same thing with the Minister of Interior, that they were going to move the police
to about 60,000 over the next 10 years. And it is not just out of nothing that they are also following suit, but we left them with a blueprint, with something, with practical steps, so that they'll be able to do that and move it. But of course, it comes with resources.
Resources, very well.
It comes with resources.
My nasi, Bibiania, you best about Bidin Komobio.
I'm just a phone call away.
Very well.
Ghana.
Very well.
Whatever we will add to make sure we build this country, we are always available.
Very well. Honorable Yadase, Dominic Nitiwul, a MP for Bimbilla constituency and a former defense minister of the Republic. Obi, to a large extent, I agree with my senior colleague that unemployment is a problem and a national security threat. However, the hunter-gatherer farming that we practice in Ghana will never be attractive to our youth, and it is not and will never be the solution to our youth unemployment. Export-oriented manufacturing is the solution, and that is how Vietnam, China, South Korea, and others have moved millions of their population out of poverty. Ifs Ninoy Hansen Norte, former NP, Tema Central constituency. Obi, ask Honorable Nitiwul if the 48th Regiment to be constructing their barracks, the U.S. Marines have construction unit who have even done such work in Ghana. Edwin Edie and Edwin Yedase. We say Obi, so Honorable Nitiwul only got to know that we are sitting on a time bomb just when he got to a position. So he's saying that 10,000 is not enough. When he was the Minister of Defense, were they able to pick 10,000? I think he answered that. So they picked some. Or say he should stop the hypocrisy. During his time, they charged 350 Ghana cedis for application and charged for the medicals too. Is he saying they picked all the applicants who paid for the forms and the medicals? He does not have the moral right to criticize the situation we find ourselves in. He and his party stayed in power for 8 years. What significant change did they make to reduce the youth unemployment? They are all contributors to the problem we have on our hands now. Charles Quating and Udiwe Abre Charles Quating Yedase. Obi, it is high time we depoliticized security recruitment in our beloved country, Ghana. There should be an end to political interference in Ghana security services recruitment. It is good to know that President Mahama doubles the security services recruitment target to 40,000. This is an indelible legacy to President Mahama by doubling the security services recruitment. Ordering that the number of new recruits across Ghana's security agencies be increased from 20,000 to 40,000 over a 4-year period is a bold decision that will strengthen public safety and create meaningful employment opportunities for the youth of the country. Guy G. Ewo cantonment here in Accra and on the way Abrainti ma yenhwena yentwaso Ekosii saying na high Asempa FM. Messages will be to me 0548 443 523. A brain 0548 443 523.
Ekosiisen Bonsoir wa Asempa de brane mamba Obi som
Masomo Asempa 94.7 FM Ekosiisen dwumedie no asuguso a wutie no ma yenna munyina ase ne yensan mama kwaba emfa momra Ekosiisen dwumedie yi eso make say the Honorable Alexander Kwesia Kwa abekansa ewo studio ha oye MP for Asempa constituency in the Eastern region ye hwe nim say Honorable Fred Agbenyon so ba beka yen ho na afei ye de yen discussion segment na abremo no nsia ne fa pepepe ye be sorry ama Asempa yitia enso atwa muso intimema Honorable Akwaba na afei yede nkomono ahyehye so ye discussion segment Franco Trading Enterprise phone papa pa nyina fie ene ho Ebis Gold at the Ghana fo nyina Eco World Cup ewo US of A, Canada and Mexico and yewo Imaros Home Decor omonso boye the discussion segment no apremo honorable Akwaba
Binyami Joso
na pomu ye de
Binyami adum ye ho ye
parliament ye boko
oh ye gusu ye adwuma eja kakra yom de baba na ya boɔ mo eya ye bɛboɔ mo na ya ho adwuma nyɛ nso a bɛka ya adwene na mo pɛso no mo pia tum say sa da ekono we are the numbers no ebule but nyame wo ho
ene na eden nioma na mo consider our parliament
and then finally ye common fund formula no etumu it was presented Sebia deputy ranking of the local government committee it's only by last week but that a few HSB were montino small ad hoc committee be and I acquire more juma and ye diaba until committee of the whole if you monafi yebuvu motion of the report near adopt and then
a new formula
a new formula for this year.
Okay.
And it was a major thing that was done.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. And you say monso mo MPs ni bi enam Ashanti region. Ano makwaba.
Omguso.
Sa am prending call for
Ashanti say a hoso. Into wo hwe koko ensem na wo ho no edoso. Enti no na wo so mo visible say no koko fo no. E na mo frɛ yen say yem na beti o masem. Cause one say obi sa some two say na say a ball pusa uhia say obe healy by say obi dew, and that is why we are insisting say era GM president omomodia senia enkrofo so a wotiom security for yes wotiom
we're increasing
recruitment you be di ho nkomo ti kokofo dey ade no peso bebo
se matese nyame ya adomo a ochena all start ne resetting Ghana tour in the Oshiase ewo Bono region resetting Ghana tour Bono region so a region cocoa farming is very pronounced.
We should expect a major announcement.
I don't know. But Abia so we no Ghana phone you couldn't come out directly. Abia or obesia cocoa phone.
As a cocoa some den cosma or 2 kono mama muka ya juma o. No nansi so 130,000%. Okay.
Board chairman.
Minia penny. Rasa me for 2. I say 130,000%. Almost what I don't want Jima kwa ya juma nibi. Into danke for say oh my but I say so say ubia ne yam Canada. O crocon said yam or what na canon. Canon so be who anim. Yam na ye so be who anim.
The government communications minister I posted about 3 hours ago said it's been a busy week for President Mahama and it will get busier. This evening, he will hold a dialogue with organized labor after meeting the business community last month. He will then meet civil society organizations at a later date. Tomorrow, he will begin the Resetting Ghana tour to engage Ghanaians, inspect the progress of work on government projects, and interact with the media. And we know, Sir Ochana, Sir Resetting Ghana tour, free Bono region. Almost on Saturday, he would be in the Afram Plains to cut sword for the first Farmer Services Center, which is one of the 70 to be constructed this year. A truly packed week. In the way the government communications minister Ekosii.
The president Nangasan Ekoko Kate sword na and our inspective projects across all the various regions in the district.
On the Resetting Ghana tour.
Yeah, Bonya Mempa yes. Videos and communication before Bebano. And yet the Sebi Swedi. Say President Tankasabitu and more ako. But Sebi say if you're in touch with the people, if you're in touch with the grassroots, we will be able to need the local politics here. And Yama Bibri and Shedan Kososa on the ground. But Bididi Hiamie and the Kuku. Into an oba because a chunk of our MPs defeat Ashanti regional. Dodonano any your leader Mama Pat any another premo and omoko na omonam. Now tin semwa kuku for no kanwa na ebia humeti. Ebia humeti sabe we should not sweep their concerns under the carpet. Mayen kase and one no. Sabe these are people omo ye a bit impoverished kakra. Omo dependency na aye on the cocoa. And a mo share one more and a mo raise your hope. enti se neno bibia ba na se mo say ye chire mu saying say buying in the call, trading in the call wrong, and world market in the keke. You just don't cut them off and say yati so say na ye so musimu. And so other emergencies here mo pe sika bi na mo de akoso anu e wo ho na say ye mu koko akuafo ana
but say utie de na board chairman e kana na say akra no at the world market price are buying them almost 2,500. You see as our price the cross here drop further into your buy is in a way still cushioning them and they don't understand which other cushioning I'm more suggesting. When you know very well, say world market price, that's a drop further.
You see, what we are saying is
from where it was.
Obi, what we are saying is, when you say your umbrella chrome had more, yenti obi income so.
Yes, you cannot vary obi conditions to his detriment.
That is it. But that's exactly what has happened to Gogo Kwafui. Gogo Kwafui, they got a buying your more contracts. By a buying announcement, or say that the Bemau.
Yes.
And on the Coco Quiafono, Ejina Sudia Yomajuma. And on the Coco Quiafono, Ejina Sudia Fapa 4, and the Coco Quiafono, Ejina Sudia Tunu, and the Coco Quiafono, Ejina so Ediato fertilizer. It's the expectations of whether maybe Berry. Sabe, say you formalize or income on one, and Kaubos what vary to their detriment. So let's look at it from that way. Now, say you can't say MPP for Neka, it's in Yemua. Say MPP for Neko, Ghana for Neka, Coco Quia for Atun Safre, Yoko Eastern region, no more come as a million, not shut for say Mumra, near Yankasa Munchamo. But you first say there's a government, a Bible, I to Abamano, I this state resources in Ashamonsa, your taxes near the Mamo. It is our for I didn't the way you maneuver Kuku for so. Say, yet, this was said the Ankuranua, money or more contracts. It was saying, Tia, a buying castle with an answer to Kuku Swa, Kuku Juma Yinano, or the near Yamano. What does it? Kuku Juma Yinano, or the near Yamano. Until young pep can be so. Na yem fama woman no muhunu se sa breed your matie good dem a omutuhwe dia ban share bompo se wodi sika akọ na wetu your mumpo no obi omonsanka sika bia
eye $150 million na ban se or the kwakoto omo ana omo de omo de abreko boda de omo watch it no enkoi
the kuku catch for because omonsanka sika bia.
Oh how
that's it, that is it. They keep talking to us. They keep calling us.
Until the
woman Saka Bieno, woman who omoi. Omo Saka Musicano, woman Yenti Monka. Nayan Shady Padudo Monsaka Modi. Mumma evidence, Bumi and Jabby Bianto on the end who say the number of people on Moko Kumo. None of me, when I'm say, Anna said. There were over 4 million people in artisanal mining. Galam say Munintino. And there, ye near Fikuko for 1 million.
Artisanal mining in Galam say artisanal mining is small scale mining.
Okay.
In the ASM mining in
Galam say
okay. Say illegal small scale mining in Galam say.
But that's what you mean. Into 4 million people. One more artisanal mining.
Sure.
One. Artisanal mining. Say Gallo, say Gallo, 4 million. Presidents will be 4 million and above. And unti and then there.
Yes.
Ya pau kuku for each other. A penny baby mubuye. Or come for bonnia what I for. No call for power to no. It is a cocoa show, my year do this level. Then ne Muse Mugo de Biaba, and don't know what they move to Sonia dia. You kuku for nimu. You don't do that. God use more modem want to swan into your cashier will be anti Bank of Ghana Governor Kasa Kai say go do no yadia and Omakanabrofibi a yadia enter hoda. It is a nano say oh yeah plans be now the good unkuya planner. Natural say when susu dachi it's a day na uba bear with dear. Go to Bua Cosrutino, or do we now to go to Swa, Sabe kokowa ahwa wo abedu sa level no we yi wani afiso then the koko for him mobo ye come say people for na him mobo to hey and the koko for nyina ye people for
na no why na ka say
oh o ka say oh na dan no a ye portray koko for wo masam na ye share say koko for him mobo to quickly and a majority for koye MPP for him mobo to no me start so much almost share oh Facebook money ade nyina yes hey at ye ma refie at ye ma refie na de makoko for na yomo ya ne say the campaign of 2024 was so heavy in the cocoa growing areas. MPP akuku NDC akuku dam akesefo ye de CFO se yenom na yayobo papa nti yama ye ni ankohopo yama ye ni ankokoko for because ye boa ni atumo no na ye nim say e enough ana NDC fo hu sa kwan no da ho akuku dam we NDC fo nyinara cocoa growing areas. Sure mobo na me ma bibi din ko mo se ma yum ni din very big time cocoa farmer o se na ukọ the cocoa on the farm hands no ebufu ahye wo mama chese kasa mo kasa no ebikura no eyamomo some level of psychological effects said you make catch ye ni because this farm hands no wo feel say oh they waka catch say mutumu a ene yenso ye contractor ye ne farm owners no wono yenso ebenya dodo wo edi nti wo nyina e fa adwene se ene enkotoma NDC na me de me ho abo maboa mo ababan mo awie ene mo dwene mo am comfort ho wo mo bua mo baban mo no mato mo jeje wo wa yi mo adwene fi mo so na plane na kese ne yeto no me de keke ka ho enye fe
as a plane in the parliament mo na mo approve say abainento
ye ni approve ye
na say mo approve plane into the presidential fleet no already and our plane men are working
near here
yeah, but come for the Air Force, yeah. Yeah, transit the Akabeba by November this year. So no one's not working.
And you know what?
That's fine. Ekosii says the high Asempa 94.7 FM. In the Utiena or question be wa Jintra 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. And then so you say clock sack for a day by say almost strike no there or ma call it or ma suspend the strike no as it were ain't would see say ye benya won kasama for ni anyone edi and come about that very important but on one issue so be topical na recruitment into the security agencies under the Ministry of Interior in the fire service. Your prisons, your immigration, and your police. 4 agencies. Buying initially, yes, over a 4-year period, I'm going to 20,000 into these services. This year, 5,000. We will be acquiring over 500,000 people, and 500,000 applications and a bar through. Dede Kakraba, and there was a high-powered meeting with Jubilee House. And some new announcement by say Oma pay them from 20,000 to 40,000 over 4 years, which means that this year Oma for 10,000. Good news, Meboa.
Okay. Let me say home name me. One, do we need that extra number no as a nation?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay. And the other initially no, young fan no anya adwuma. Adena initially young fan number no anya adwuma. The day ba hunti and ye fit 20,000 and they 40,000. Na no obi bisampo say no kure ben the womb, gidie ben the womb. Because I bring one and I said be no did them PWDs. Kai aban ni President Mahama say. O bontoa, o show mo bon say. Adwuma biara ye befa. Nipa bia e befa mo adwuma mu Ghana ha. Ye private sector, say ye public sector, over more 5% allocation. Oh yes, we are private sector for no way on baby kwan ediama wom no. We be some tax reliefs. And Yen nuanom adi dem say omo ma aban no break tiawa bi ombeko demonstration. Enti say aban ya wo share bo sabe say untimi ni bo she bia so untimi ni obia bo she so dia yen nuanom adi dem die uye de ka say wo dada wo mo. The presidency have adwuma 1 million.
Yes.
Or see, I made 1 million.
I say 1 million jobs have been created.
Yes, you have nipa 1 million. 5% of it was say call one more did them.
That says how 1 million in a buying in human crime.
And I say
1 million jobs have been created.
And as I was public. Boss also your private public.
Really?
Yes. Check the NDC manifesto. Private for no more abobek makwana omo mo di dem abaye adwuma wo mo hono ye be ma mo certain reliefs. And then I was on Muko Street to square demonstration answer. Oh, into no say we are buying na what they ensem say to tudwa na amafo nyo ma rehye and now your political party now be dani buying na unya na fe uka sembia yete ne wa it's as what kind of wa and yema bebra ye nuano body year campaign am I your president his excellency why you walking contradiction
I didn't hear
because I can cite about 3, 4, 5 and I mean president say external factors are affect the economy no yan fantunche send ye nuano ka procurement issues. Yes, say procurement biya ni yemiem na obiara enya kwan MBDB enne aban eyayem say enema aban etimi aye biara ne ade no selective tendering restrictive etil mo ka we bra mo ye campaign and mo ba ye mo be ye we. And a mukaya Emma MPP who ye him and tell them muye the same thing. It is a ukya the sanwa a bayer den yaji wedi. Sa a police for and Samia by yiding kumei. President Mahama said emphatically say your branch executives ma any your branches for no money adinano. Monso so most sefata say ye chebibia ye mamubi. 80 opportunity be a baby biano money de bemamo abra wundum say so ba ban mu a wuntimi meye ne sa say wo fa ade de ama andi sefo enne Ghana for eka 9 people for Ghana CSC anyi ni a enne andi sefo na eka so andi sefo no buafu ena omo kasa eti say o ye ni say ya ade pa na wo ka ye besa ji wadi bio ade pa na sa wo ka bra wo aban mu a ye besa ji wadi bio kan hunu say the man numbers isu ko be 500,000 no eye age bracket bi a omo increase ye na unim say wo a small number a person wo fa eye den na obiem for another age bracket bi a enka sebe when miemu a omo no ebeda nchen ena 24-hour economy no omo policy no as was written in the manifesto no womo kasa nyina no de omo ye nyina se awose ye buy security services dim enti de muka ye no ahyem nantie ni nyina abo ahyem den emomo hu se ye mo na bra ba mu ye boa na ba mu a appointment a omo anya bi contracts kakran so nke de be ma party for no so binye bi so party more many appointments more so na mo sa acha with this restrictive tendering process adia mo kasati aye yankase betimi de be na ochu ba ko etu galamsi ase yante betimi na ochu ba ko etu galamsi ase so entino ama abano enoka bibia gidie eniho it is how we are working. It means that and then a feed 5,000 and echo
almost Almost the 5,000 Beckham.
I feed you. Oh, sir.
This is a movie from 20 to 40. Meaning every year 10,000 for the 4 agencies. And then the defense ministry was one of the different. So therefore the different. The way other agents and the interior. And you almost say 10.
Into the 5,000, beside another 5,000 I can help you.
That's the understanding from the statement.
And Pacho, you because you also know here once I feed you the 5,000 now fear besimu biumuno yomo ya no many 10,000 straight. No we bisa ho say in 2028 I beto aba no you besa for 10,000.
And so say if 40,000 in 4 years okay be about 2029 I don't know but 20,000 40,000 in 4 years. It meaning says this year you have 5 now. Now there is 35,000 more to go. They also spread it over the next way. 2 years.
Yakau ya dianoaka yebisa ya ho ye wosika ye de bemom in terms of remuneration. Eba police for money ade ba ko a ehia pa yo mo barracks no accommodation sam. Already omo mu no e kasa. Do we have the resources? Are you beating me? And the actual woman, another day by ya in the AKB.
Media budget, Beba.
Media budget, okay.
Maybe provisions will be made in that budget for the extra 5,000.
If we are a better budget, ya a buy na ya share allocation to do yet mediama. So far, because the first quarter is almost coming to an end.
Yes.
Niem misa se emu ahen and I release at the ama. Minya just wo kasa bebre essence of what the other side in tea. You feel say politics now wo ye. And unfortunately, CSOs and the media ne nkofo ankomo so enim dia mbeka bie no na yedi. Na no be post to ade bi on Facebook so. Say over the weekend around Saturday Michelle clergyman be no yedi pa ya ban wo so wo ya ba no afrawo no akabi ni ade na mbizan say na my friend papa am so for papa afie ntidi akwa mu kosi ha dwene o na so be da aka na no me yesa mi kebie papa ye bi o mo ye mi na afo mu de twumanim am say oh o say hi to the besro obi minim say de be ka tia ye ne papa bi no fear say war friend not publicly war friend enyan man this phobia ka so ade am ye mo hwe ne ne ade oh ne fear say ka ne de aye ama no it is say aye one on one idea ya ka kire ni so opo no musuo e ko keka bia one here the papa public one so say mesum anya bibi ntina me ko ye me de na me fo say adwempam ye na ne e build your mind no ntia na say kakra mo ye bo ami mo de betwumanim dia na say ene mo asem bo ne po ya kama no atum sei se ya kama na ma no tuma ma sebe empeni amunim dia na munim dia wo soro paada bibi nti mo na ma kama no atum na ma bera ho but you see gradually gather for no e hunu ye nuanom se ano a om de bobo besia no nye no ana om de tua ntia ne cho uchi obi acho mafa cho sa Ghana for mun kasa munya botre BF yasi account days to 2028 7 December mu wo kan side blood pressure be kosoro bompa ye na nyame mu na ban entimi nya de obeye era gem ada one time na onko na ye hwede besi bompa ye because ye dan ya akro no timu bi kofu boni se o mane mo no wo so timu bi nti ye mompa ye na
eno na mo wish se Iran ntoko yi be koso ache
debi obi se ko che a yenya ye wo position na yenya hwe no mo ne ade ye bebrewu ye bebresi omo aban mu no ye bebresi omo aban mu and I'm telling you say ye hia say on mine no ebeko chew ansa yetimi aba power. We don't need that. Ye de hia ne say we have an alternative. And yema aban yi ka say wo ba betena so a yema ne kwa betena so be ye nyina no ye hu say no ni nyina ya dadaka wan ka no kura nchire ni pardon It's young, the year presented, but more being was that these are realistic policies. These are realistic policies. You can feel it. And yes, $1. And yes, $1. That may be something. Hey, young, free SHS was so tangible, say MPs will load it. MPs boy abaso because the free SHS instead of nyejuma papa MPs ye down. But I feel be a school be piano. You won't call out also pescarima. And ma so the tangibility of free SHS, you couldn't just take it away. Net dollar no who say I've come from rate not conform. But how has that affected the grassroots? The panel a Ghana no. And then ye indicators na ye hu adwuma. Aban ba ye intervention policy ben pa and awaye. Intervention policy pa. Jomu kan ho asem no ne ade pa emu de pa and awaye.
Why Mahama case?
Mahama case. Bonabaso. Yeah. But ye misa ye ho. Oye ne san. Obi asese na ade. Obi ahyehyɛ na ade no makɔ YBA nam sɛ bede ya ade no wo sɛ me mom nsɛm ma wo baso mija abeja ne darima ya adwuma no watu jani bi na de akɔhyɛ wampesi ase a wo sɛ waso gya abo ampesi nti me mom nsɛm ma wo ɛyɛ na nka wode innovative way bi ba ye na yetimi nya resources for Mahama cares ni ade a anke bɛbɔ yɛ nsɛm
Asempa FM
what do you say I said ya chembi and phobia obi na yachim obi body to me
interventions no
for a country like ours,
yes,
or mind be to say yedien sabi ne here na em nwanwa omo na from social democrat
yes
omo de enka omo adwini nyina no e wo say call into those lines. And so Edding say Bekabi. But look at the Nyama Yedigu Wakwemu. Every other day, every ministry was bringing up something, churning out a program. I beko down to the people. Nabua, because in such and your pet. Yeah, you see a fair property owning democracy. We all thought about the people. Yeah, you know more. It is a nano, Yahumi Bibiaso. Ya kami bibia ye bibia ahye na yesi ye control ye perfigures no na wo ye ja na utifie na se o masku of atade atete e come de wo ma de bia wo ma aye hoya no ne ade na wo fat back accounter de bia na wo kire figures a eja wo ye no e hu fa so ne sei eno ne ye fe no outside gentility home cry. Outside gentility, home cry. A buying is the biggest spender. It is a buying cause or restricting a spending. Then maybe also affected the whole economy. And we think Ghana Ninara every market. Oko market biya market bed no araho. But we got no no brand biya or identify more traffic or tompabwa. Kayo se masa and then pabua mato and pabua maton ba ko 50 cities bisusu skapo abomi if you no pa a company buy 7 something me hu. So a whole day we wasted the whole day. Why do we do this to ourselves? Then you say you have a very good outlook. Na friend say nutrients bia omotie nyama we no masem go you go down to the people, go and talk to the people, and then these MPs be so mo ho dipa do ati be constituency
adan
le ekoso wo hoyi ni ekoso e wo hoyi yekoso wo hoyi 1D1F yemunu a enka emema embrantia epe yi sa security adwuma nke bi bepe adwuma yo obi enkwala na wo nyina akoto security forms no nyom nyina pe no mo person beko security o enye omu nyina pe ene so beko security obu on adwuma bi ani ho tu beko constituency ni aba ma wi school metifie me nyahwe mpacho mo am nam say hey no so ade efua achichide bitobi sen
that's all I remember of
one more your maban your maban a mutim say MP say your maban kwa esu and this MP yesu so sunu na akoka yera mama akuma oso wabam eno ti na make say itukoko fu sunu de enkano ana sa 20,000 de beka won enyiska enya ka na bobo enyiska Sebio, security forces, how much are they contributing to our economy?
In other ways.
Them see, when I'm saying me go me sanu so that's here. But aye dede kakrenti. That sabi age bracket amu raise ye no. Na ho fa so no say. It is here kasa wo de asamon fa na asamon ko. Mo dia mo mutu esika no. Mo refund ma wo mo. No ma bon tom yem because medicals no nye kaketwa wo.
And I said sadia no obi anye bi sada. No on be refund this kadia ma
obi anso create mess say that. Obi anso create mess say that. 500,000 people applying. 500,000 people applying. Obian creative mess say that. Now AI me to say rigorous say recruitment process. Now you was a 5,000 mefa. 80 ufemua na koko fosu no. President Mama wacha da yes unti wom. Cause the anka ya boa koko fosu a bedu sa pembe so yi. Obetia enko be hu bibi obetia kada areho
ebi so aban fi say why the best how obetimi aye especially with the current eno na ma your friend is saying board chairman ekoka 13 or can say
130%,
130,000% because na or share the
now, is there something like 130,000%?
Obviously that was not the case, but or say the current world market price and how much they are paying to the farmer a massive, because at the time I buying more 2,500 now world market price no baby you see I drop it but government is still maintaining 2,500. That was his argument in that video.
Cool. Enye ade bia na yekote.
Okay.
It is abri di oba yegu wonu ano mo hwehwe ebo 36 no ni ade no ewo ho etwen to the to no ma wo to no ada rate bu ma wo aban emfa ne nimbutu nsum no to no ma wo dan yan hwe nko anim say whatever went wrong we will correct them. Dia di mpo no say yen ebra mu ye den president and the point is that at your market yaso. Say president say oti koko for a super oti yamu komwa wono so ntina ketuaso na all danienta say ifo na ketuaso. Na you use an niabre or drink koko for. But to say here, you see psychologically it's not the best. Mateso upumpu mateso. Umpu mateso. Na ebise kuku fo no atiase kuku fo no apreso kuku na wodi propaganda betina ban mu woti aban mu so wo ye propaganda ye ka free research ni enum se ne ya ye biso imada think you say the whole Ghana ya intervention obia just say agiatum the silent majority were quiet. We didn't pay attention to some of these things. Then no baba mu na ye no if you abamu nche ya enie ma bi akoti ayen ye ka Muslim people for my mobodo. Obi Asem kese pa na da ho. It ye nwan mo Ashanti region. I visit various areas, cocoa grain areas near the and some more mote any nipa ko some more moka. Conform BP akosoro obu on mo pe sika to edro ni BP edro wonya because na brabo nyina ni cocoa no onya no so no awrefo obu ni mo say enti no me enti ye for say cocoa for no monya calculation Omo calculate ahead of time, Papa. Cocoa for no. They are able to calculate their revenue ahead of time. To or yeah, Jumanos and nanomete bag say. I feel minimum meti say. Unim bag and a boy. Sebatisi say who?
Ekosii saying the high Asempa FM. Honorable Alexander Kwesiakwa any attending Kano. Fred Agbenyon, the Honorable MP for Guan constituency, into me Emma Mekansa Ewa. Just 10 minutes to end the show. Na ya makwai ama Asempa yitia Yediano Abrem Obi. On a lighter note, another social intervention by the NDC is the Mahama part. By the way, our name is still working, and has the media campaign against Galamsey been ceased? Obi, Naimos must go and spend only 1 week in Doma district and see what's going on, Keke. Gastiman uo brikum. And Odiwe Abrain. Obi, good day. This government is only engaging in political dishonesty. They told us that every little drop in fuel prices in there is the achievement of the Mahama administration. They beat their chest and flooded the airwaves with showers of praise to themselves that the president is responsible for the relief at the pumps because Abba and Papa Abba, including even in your own studio. But today, when fuel prices are rising again, suddenly they have gone silent. No credit taking, no loud announcement, no Mahama magic. How unprincipled can a government be? You cannot claim credit when prices go down and then run away when prices go up. The government cannot reduce cocoa price and increase fuel prices. They should scrap the Dumswa levy now. George Kwating Ewo Adenta. And anyway, a brain. George Kwating Yedase. Obi, good day. World crude price went as high as $12 and beyond per barrel. $12? No, is it 120? I think 120 now. Okay. Under the NPP and the NDC told the people Ekofado was wicked. By some luck, world crude price reduced to about $60 per barrel last year, and the NDC told the people of Ghana that they had reduced fuel prices because JM's kind and good governance was at play. Today, that world crude price is escalating and projected to hit $200 per barrel if the Middle East war doesn't end. Am I a good man to say President Mahama is wicked? Same trend of Hoko, etc. If gold falls, Ghana is doomed. Politics of lies and propaganda orchestrated by the NDC to win election is swallowing them day after day. Karma is indeed real. Junior or Tantra Hills. And Odiwe Abrain Junior Tantra Hills. Okay. And the news just coming in, and it's the Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism Center in the US of A, resigned from his position effective today. Now, yeah, Bruni. Any idea was your political class in Ghana and so is here. As a monument shed and seniors are the enemy. Oh, Yegusu. Yegusun Kada do the air be Yadan can be if you're resigning. Because Ocean, where the main reason say, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qassem Soleimani and defeating ISIS. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiment to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the US, and that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraqi war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, and as a gold star husband who lost my beloved wife, Shannon, in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further towards decline and chaos. You hold the card. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent, Director, National Counter-Terrorism Center. Or the adjustment was effective today. But Donald Trump on the Truth social media page, no post, we call it the bluff of all the other countries. Australia mwasa omomwa no protected the Strait of Hormuz. No yes they can go to hell. America is a powerful country, and they would defend themselves. Donald Trump, yes, anyway,
but the worries, I don't know. The piece is a masterpiece.
It's
a masterpiece.
I think
it's something worth studying. Udu baby no so reverse course one.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. It's true. It's true. Ain't it? Asemu. Ekosii saying, honorable, you will sima me and sape concluding with any other business. Sorry.
Obi, the mechanic say, a woman, the Yenian this for Kika Ebro more position. So say, no, America say, we feel more. Amagidi wa by Mono Aquaform.
Yes.
Sansa almost share nipa bo, Omoma nipa area Ekosoro. Some Momaka Duduana no, Omuka to Baumiaso, the money adinano, and then Baumio to the baby or Jeno. On Kazai,
okay.
On Kazai, but and ne social media daroma. The Mokan and Neno, near Kofadano Dianaba, not just a Mudada ye. Eh, not Mutibi Dada Ghana pa. In the name of politics, me, dear Hame, Nayami Janese, Ebia Dachi. Gidia Wamayos, Fumu and Amayo Semuno, a bit Kofomukura. Madachi, a bit patron and Nipa Betwaba. But the Gabato, ye writer, a was a Nipa Eddie Ahomkani and Niji expressing, no exercise. So, but the Ekosii, Yashi Bedu Dachi, Bibino because Saanet here, but in Shankanya me say. When ye en kasaye, you about me to the baby, din yon kasaye. Issues only events na food na a bar near the nano diano, abeto near who say, to me and no more pekeke. To me, so dear, and carry your manso. Ye yet to me at the Buamai, ye yet to me and find ye who ye. Ye yet to me and find share home. And so ne, Manfaji to me at the show mo. Omo party mebunu po eboa womo ediom ho to omo so sa gidiom nyama omo ntino enne omo refi womo a enne omo nyina no atoba ha yesre aban no omye nani no hwe de ekoso yewura mama wo one time pe in fact sa one time no bo modin say obekọ no na waye bibia ye rebeka wo papa mi
me da say ye chia achem danfo nyina and then you read
the
Honorable Alexander Ekosii Aqua and Yetenen can or MP for Asempa constituency. Medin your say bones, Yame Admochna, the Wednesday edition of Ekosiisen Ebebremo. Samre, sorry, ama Asempa Yitia Atwa Muso.